Hey, it's the Alkalized to Realise talk show. It's Fabian the Upgrade Man. We are back once again with another fantastic show. Today we have Martin Matson on from Flat Earth British.
Martin Liedtke.
Yeah, that's it. This is going to be...
My name's Martin Liedtke. It's only Matson's on my Facebook.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, right. I see what you mean. Yeah, so I'm still calling you Matson, but yeah.
No, that's not my name.
Do you know, I tell you what we'll even do? We'll just go with Martin, yeah, and we'll leave the legal fiction to one side. We'll go with that.
Okay.
How good's that?
Heard it, mate. Legal name for it.
Even better. Even better. Yeah. So, you know, pleasure to have you on the show, brother Martin.
Thanks for the invite. Good to meet you, Fabian. Old friends just meeting again for the first time after a long time.
Yeah, it generally feels like that when we're awake. We have that
like
feeling.
That with a lot of people I meet. I met a lady in America like 2-3 weeks ago, and the instant I saw her, I thought, ooh, that's weird. I recognize you. Can't possibly, because she's from America, but you know, just there's something about her, and not just the vibration. There was a face to it, like, wow. Get it all the time, especially with this experience.
Yeah, especially with this experience, you know, vast, wild experience. You know, we were just talking. We were just talking there, you know, briefly before we came on. We were just saying sort of how quickly things are moving now, you know. And
things,
like
you said, starting point 2012, I definitely think was there.
Yeah.
But, you know, with the sort of primed ready, and then all of the information concerning Flat Earth is there by 2014. And then mid 2015, everyone, including myself, starts to, you know, come out on YouTube, and you know, I was in a state of shock. You see my first video, I'm like literally numb to it all.
Yeah.
The revelation that, you know, my God, no, of course we're not on a boat. My God, how can I miss that? And after that, and then just started to accelerate, like, you know, this strange sort of experience happens in this realm of flat earthness, which is disconnection with any time, with a day of late out, with flat earth time.
Yeah.
Things that just like something different. You know, the amount of happenings that can happen in one day of my life is what most people have in months.
I can resonate with that.
In some cases, or lifetimes in others. You know what I mean? It's just, and it's accelerating constantly.
Yeah.
This awakening, and I think it will be worldwide. I think what will happen, right? Because I think, you know, in a lot of cases, I think what will happen with the awakening is people will do it through peer pressure. I think that if their friends are flat earth and that, you know, history's a lie, and you know, everything they're presenting to us, especially that globe, has just been made up, you know, people will, like, because they're friends, they'll look at it then, or peer pressure, and they, you know, because people are like that. You know, I've seen experiments where people will inflict pain on fellow human beings under instruction from safety, electrocute them even knowing it could have killed them. They still done it. Have you seen that experiment?
I've never seen that experiment, but I've just hung up on the word you said.
Experiments in America, in Cornell University, and they're like literally, you know, instructing, like, no, you have to do it. And people just being so, you know, wanting to be appeasing or polite, or for whatever reason, they will get told, no, you know, from another, no, you have to do it. And they will press a button knowing that there's an individual on the other side, and they will electrocute them, possibly kill them. And this is the mentality of most people who are not critically thinking and thinking for themselves out there. Unfortunately, for now, I feel that tipping point will be peer pressure, where they'll be forced to look at it by retards like Logan and his film, which has happened, haven't it? You know, I've had, you know, radio networks and even media papers coming to me because of the advent of that stupid Logan video and that other one beyond the curve. For the same token, it's still like got people asking a question. So that token I don't mind too much, but you know.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Lower emotions, they're actually contagious. I'm just writing that down. It's sprung to my mind. You know,
do it.
Cold practice, and they're contagious. They're actually contagious. You know what I mean? There's that vibration through thought that comes through that central. It's like the nervous system is like a receiver. We receive that vibration. So when people are giving off negative emotions, picked up by other people, and they start doing it, you know. And I just look at how we are here, because we don't know anything. We're so blind, but at the same time, it's almost like, because we're blind, we're in a very dangerous situation, because we only see with our two dualistic eyes. We don't really see what's going on, because every single thing has been hidden away from us, so we don't realize how interconnected we are, which is what you're saying there. So it's
I mean, like spiritual journey, more like I'm putting it all down to supernature rather than something they will blame, which is scientists. Okay, although I do feel scientists have got a lot to blame for the ills in this place, but the bigger story is that's just another dialectic, you know, to keep them in money for all of it. None of it will ever help humanity. Absolutely none of it.
None of it.
We need to tear it all away and go back to our fundamentals.
It's got to be done.
Go back to the Stone Age. I'm saying go back to like the Tartary type of society, which is beautiful aesthetics, water, energizing, you know, technologies.
Yeah.
Nobody gets ill. Nobody even grows old. Really, this could have answered the reason why there's no graves in any antiquity depictions of people living that long.
Yeah.
Possibly. Because there's definite agenda to kill us off really, really early in life. There's very many, hardly any Centurions around these days, but there was, when I was a kid, there was many people left from the First World War, and they were all around 90, 100. You hardly see any of that anymore. It's killed off.
You don't see it. You don't see it. If you study occultism,
because you know, look at Super Size Me. You know that experiment with that guy. You know, when they told him like your liver could fail. This experiment, you know, you could have just drunk alcohol for the last 30 years. It's done that much in a month, just eating burgers and, you know, fast foods. Now that is definitely what's going on. This fast food generation, I feel sorry for the children. I think it's, you know, they should be warning people when they go in there, you know, what they're doing to their kids' health. And this is what's happening. It's petrifying, because you know they're going to have diabetes and health problems later on. They want that because it's just taking over in big pharma. Obviously, this is all bigger, you know, dialectic. Why can't people just wake up that they're being poisoned? This stuff is mental. In a liquid form. It's poured. It's not even food. It's chemicals. Toxins. And that's what's happening in 90% of the population. You know? You have people around you. I'm taking my kid for breakfast at McDonald's. You know, kind mother.
It's mental. It's mental.
It's and this is what we're putting up with. This is what's. So we, you know, if that's overwhelming, and all of the other things like the fake media and everything, you know, and you're people actually digesting newspapers with any atom of truth in them. It's really weird, but they do. And living their life in that way, never knowing anything of their true reality. What a wasted life. Yeah,
I think nature does. You see, you mentioned Tartaria, and a lot of, you know, you're looking at, you know, a previous time where advanced technology is being used, but it's in alignment with nature. It's in alignment with magnetism. But I'm an occultist, you see, so I study occultism.
Yeah, of course.
So I know that
myself.
Tranquility. Magnetism heals through tranquility.
100%.
So the way I'm seeing it, not just the way I'm seeing it from what?
There's my magnetized water, vortex.
You know, look it up. You know, it's there. It's there. I'm drinking plasma. As far as I'm concerned, I know
They call it plasma.
Plasma is named. The actual plasma itself is named after blood plasma because it's alive. You'll know that, you know. So I'm saying now you're drinking plasma. This stuff here contains a ridiculous negative electron.
Maybe that's why it's the color of the sun.
Right?
Gold.
It's gold. Which is six.
Do you know Dave Murphy at all?
Yes, I do know of Dave.
Allegedly Dave.
He's been on this show. He has been on this show. He was our first.
I've met Dave. I've known him a few years now, maybe 4 years.
I know him as well.
Back in early days. First year.
I conversed with Dave. He's a good man.
Yeah, he's a good man. He's lovely to meet. He's a very warm man.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to go clubbing or something, and we could go out dancing or something. But I was in a terrible state there. I wasn't happy at all. But you know, next time when I meet him up later on this year, I'm sure we'll take over the place. I won't be. It's not like I'm going to lead him astray on anything. I don't think he needs any help with that.
Yeah, I doubt it.
No, I see.
Yeah, I watched the presentation you were doing actually a while ago. You was covering the Phoenicians. I don't know if you want to touch on that, because what you were covering actually, you were just bringing out a lot of architecture and stuff.
Well, everything's going on up until this point. It's a bit of a mind blow, though. It's massive. Now, what we laid down in Flat Earth British think tank, a combination of what we decoded so far. is this, and we let it out last week on our channel on the weekend, and I'm just dealing with the brunt of it. People are in shock, none of people are resonating with this. So let's see if you resonate with this. This is it. The rising and falling of the continents. Now this is the scenario, okay, is Tartaria existed on the land, and they had a beautiful aesthetic society based on acoustic, vibrational technologies, water technology, the greatest society, the golden age. This place was Shambhala, okay? Shambhala, that beautiful, scintillating. Nobody was dying, there was just no illness, no poison in this place. And what we suppose is outside of the dome, okay, just like the Holy Bible states, is the waters above and the waters below, okay? And the Phoenicians, being a watery race, as the alchemical depictions of the cult era depict, they come from the water. So what we think is that Phoenicians were jealous and coveted Italian society. So we think that when they came in from the sea and port, they built a structure, or it was already there, we're not really decided on that, of pumping stations. And this plane is worked on a pneumatic system, whereas in castles, sort of giant pumping stations, star forts were built to withstand the incoming sea when it came. So what we believe is they pumped the water out from underneath the mantle, sinking the continents. They rise from there, watery bed, or the seabed rises. Any evidence for that? Oh yeah, seashells on the tops of mountains, plenty of ships on tops of mountains that are now solidified. The Wise Up has posted at least 2 or 3 which have gone viral, submarines and ships on top of the mountain. Also the Ark, Noah's Ark, supposed to be on Turkish mountain, high on Ararat, has solidified, but it's on top of the mountain. Seashells definitely there. But if you go with their geological story, which is hundreds of millions of years, with rise from the seabed, etc., on planetary nonsense. This explains all of it. So if you imagine the Phoenicians' symbol is the scales, you get it on the sort of High Court or the Old Bailey, the scales. On the scales, okay, is obviously judgment for our sins in the alchemical symbols, but also on probably melancholia, this one particular image, the plates or the continents. So as theirs rises, the Tartarian continent drops underwater. Now what happens? This could happen rapidly. I mean, they could just give it a big dunk for a little while, a month or so, and then bring it back up again. All of the population, there will be pockets, because this is, not total, I'm not talking all of the land masses, I'm just talking a very large part of it. This great flood attributed to Gilgamesh, Noah's flood, the Chaldean flood, the Hindu flood, it's all situated around the mid-Asian region. So that's the, the Caspian Sea, the Black Sea, that sort of area. So all of the middle of Italy to Tartaria has been flooded. So when they brought it back up, the buildings were still there, although they were deep in mud and silt, which had to be cleaned out. New population had to be introduced, which is orphan trains, countless orphan children, countless, to repopulate the made good Italian buildings, which are now Phoenician buildings, which will now be decorated with Phoenician ornamentation, Phoenician statues. All plaques of previous occupants would be white clean. They're all white clean, all over the whole of the Western world, everywhere. All these plaques on all public buildings and museums, educational centres everywhere, all white clean, previous occupants. Phoenician deities and characters in them, so that's the usual, isn't it? That's Fabian, that's Poseidon, Zeus, Apollo. These deities will be adorned on all of Christendom with seashells and sort of decoration. So the scenario on this suggestion, okay, out of the coding, is that the continents sink, causing massive flooding, which is in the record. There's massive flooding that happens. If Amsterdam was taken off exactly the same year as Rome, I think that was pretty more total. I think more total than And you can see the devastation of that. So was it done in separate places, separate times? We're juggling with that idea as well. It might not have been just a total thing. So that's how that survivors of Tartaria to today. See, they didn't get them all, but the population was taken out. This is why you see these photographs in St. Petersburg or London or wherever at a certain point in time. It is meant to be the mid-1800s. These are meant to be cities of maybe a million, in some cases, or 500,000. No people, no life, no trees, no birds, no dogs, no smoke from chimneys, no life. No washing our lines. There's nobody there. These are empty cities. So we're just suggesting is that the one reason that could cause the mud? Could they have been dunked under the water, brought back up again, wiped out the population? And suggestions for this is the case is the thing called baptism or christening, where they christen you with water and they sort of christen you, welcome you to the new arised Phoenician continent. It makes so much sense when I'm saying it. So we're under maritime law. Now, why would we under maritime law on the land? You know, and the more I think about it, like the octopus's garden, the Beatles song. I like to be under the sea on the octopus's garden. And then they talk of this, you know, we would run free and have so much fun. It's like, and I'm thinking, are you talking allegorically or are you talking about this is what's on the sea? Which, in the official paradigm, we're only way, way back, we were anyway. But if this happens in a more dramatic fashion and over a short period of time, has a resetting mechanism in between, you know, this place is supposed to have two mechanisms for reset: plasma and flood. So,
what was the second one you said? You said plasma. You said plasma. What was the second one? You said
water.
Water. That was it. Yeah, you broke up when you said that. Carry on. Carry on.
Which is going to be a possibility, considering most of this place is water anyway. So will be. There's water underneath definitely, and all that water above us. It's been dropping all day, so that's definitely the case.
Well, it's been water previously. I think it was, but it's not just that. I've been looking at probably about 20 years, and I would say anyway that it's like a reoccurring. You said to me, "Do I resonate with that deeply?" Yeah, and we all do. It's like you know what I mean? But there's a matriarchal, patriarchal issue going on there. Yeah, and there's also the Pirates of the Sea. We know that they do that. The Tribe-And did the same. They did the same thing. Go around, take over your land, take it, you know. And these people are phallic worshippers, right? And we know that they worship. They are bringing this ideology of overarching, going with Saturn in the negative principle, because they deliberately put that into the alphabet anyway, right? And P for Phoenician is PH anyway. You know, we was looking at this before.
Oh no, you wouldn't be surprised how much of our reality is Phoenician. Look at California. California is Phoenician.
The language.
Californication.
I tell you what they've done. They made the 16th letter in the Hebrew alphabet. They made the 16th letter, which is the IN, which is the I. Yeah. Now you see P itself is the 16th letter of the alphabet. The P is, and in the cult numerology, we only have 9 numbers anyway, 0 to 9. So the 1 and the 6 gives us the 7 anyway, right? Which that 7 represents Saturn anyway, and that's what that 7 is always at the top of that. Where we had earlier, we was looking at the 4 and the 3. You spotted that out, which is brilliant. The Tesseract here. Yeah, man. And then there's the 4 and the 3 there anyway.
That's only the third time in the last 2 days that has been mentioned.
They put it there. They put it there, and they know as light. And even if you look at a pole star, or a North Pole, or a Polaris, or a portal, or a light to leave this place. So the P represents the light, and then you got the H. The H represents the 8, and the 8 is H for human. That's the 8th letter of the alphabet. That gives you infinity. But if you put the two of them together, they create to 24, which breaks down to 6. Yeah. So they have created, and that 6 would be the lower portion. So that would be representing the dead half of the season, because which is the 12 would be the summer solstice, and the dead half of the season, which would be the goat of Mendes, which would be Capricorn. Yeah. So and that's why the PH is PH for Phoenician, and PH is going to give me PH for this. And P is also P for plasma, and plasma is light. So
yeah, of course it is.
It's all there. And
All
so
there.
when I hear
Well,
you
it's
speak,
them, all right. I've got a series of books now. It's overwhelming. You know, they're the origins for all the Mesoamerican cultures: the Aztecs, the Olmecs, the Incas, the Mayans.
yeah,
Have all got this phonetics origins to their language, and they say in this one book that I be decoding that they spoke of a soft spoken tone with no harsh edges. And then when the Phoenicians come and introduce, well, whoever they were before them, I can only guess, introduced this new phonetics, which we're speaking, by the way, which is magic spells, as you know. They corrupted it completely. This guy was called Lewis from Wales, and went and found these people in Patagonia. And when he found out about this Phoenician twist in the language, changed his name from Lewis, got rid of the W, which is them, big them with the W, okay, and changed it to the French version, the original Italian version, which was Louis. So he realised what the Phoenicians had done with this language, and what we introduced with King James and this whole narrative. And it's quite worrying when we were wondering whether Tartarians were actually mute. Whether they actually needed language, do people need to say that much? There's the international language of love. I want to get by, I'll keep that. And what else is there? It's not that much, is there? If you want to do this sort of, you've got all of that reality there. You've got time for arts. You've got time for, what you want to do in reality. Expanding your consciousness, that sort of thing,
That sort of thing.
See, no limits.
No limits.
And because everyone's going to be transcendental and beautiful, nobody's going to be having any bad thoughts because they're all going to be blown fucking away.
Well, that's it. There'll be no need for them, because everybody's
That's all big. That's all big.
Yeah.
Easy.
But they've done that.
They've
done that. And that's what's created this heaven and hell paradigm within us as well, where we think we should be doing this and we should be doing that, blah, blah. But you know what I mean? How about we know, what's wrong and what's right? We know we're bad. We know we've got a demon inside of us. We know that. Well,
I've been battling it all my life, brother, but I get in the grips with it now. I really am.
And if we admit it and look in the mirror, we can start to do something about it. But
forgiving yourself is a big part of it, this hanging on to the past,
my message,
sacrificing lives, and people are killing themselves over it, and it doesn't exist. All there is big in your mind. It's not there. See, all the influence in your mind, but people will twist their lives and drive themselves nuts and kill themselves over the past. People should just look at the past. Animals do it. If you got two ducks fighting, you build up an energy. The duck will always shake it off after. It's not a habit of lifetime after lifetime.
Let it go. Let it go.
How do you feel about official religions or religious institutions?
I feel that they are there. Religion is to bind. I feel that, that has been deliberately, without going into major detail on that, was just deliberately put there. Through certain Jews,
there's so much with all of it. All of these religions are given us by men, which we automatically trust, regardless. We don't know anything about them. So we automatically trust that what they tell us is true, for all of these religions, okay? And it goes against something that's niggling inside you. It's already written in your heart, right? And it's just caused division across the whole of humanity.
Do you know what I think? I just want to say, I just want to say one thing, Matt. Let me just say one thing on that. Their religion, if you go back to what you're saying there with Tartaria knowledge, which is fantastic on it, with all the advanced technology and everything else, and I was on about tranquility, and I know for a fact the original religions, they were just based on natural law, on nature. So because we want to be selfish, because I think what it boils down to, if I'm looking at a lot of my research on it, even when you see the Jesus figure, he's got a heart here, and he's got the halo, magnetism, electromagnetism. We know all about it. So I'm thinking, so it's that. So we know that is what religion, that was religion, was to tell us how to conduct ourselves so that we could charge ourselves almost technologically, electrically, through magnetism.
These are recipes,
Built our field so we don't even need to eat. We don't need nothing. We just live. We don't die. We just continue.
But they have, in the 700s, in these Kirsters I decode, this one set of books called Magnetica Hieroglyphica, and they talk about magnetic sciences. They build these magnetic balls, which are electromagnetic balls, okay? And they just, the audience in the room, and they just do healing properties for people. They're doing this sort of level, and that's outside of the Tartarian, time. but they're still like decoding. That's all everybody does every time.
Yeah.
You know, they were doing the same maybe 100 years ago. I got convinced of it. I found enough books to suggest they're doing exactly the same, just decoding the past and reverse engineering their tech. That's what every single time. That's what goes on.
Yeah, it's
They got it. They got the EM tech. These
the
Phoenicians controllers. They got electromagnetic technology. Now,
you
nuclear bombs. There was never any need for it. I knew. You know, when you thought of it as an inversion and they reverse everything. You know, you reverse it, put it into a realm that doesn't really, you can, argue doesn't really exist. Okay,
doesn't
close
exist.
it into that, it comes out with nothing, just like the Big Bang. You've got to ask serious questions, and when you research the implosion technique, you find it fails miserably, and they didn't do it. And plus, there's no evidence. And if I'm wrong, it won't even matter.
Yeah.
But I do think they have the ability to destroy cities.
Say that again. They have the ability to destroy
cities.
Yeah. Oh yeah, easy.
They have, these technologies 100% exist. Vibrational, they can cause weather, they can cause earthquakes, they can cause, or what they call it, fuse, direct energy weapons, I believe, they're a reality.
Magnetism.
The science is there. It's an understandable science. I can't be dealing with, particle physics when they're intangible to my reality. Okay, and I know where it's all come from as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer and the rest.
Field modalities.
Shall I trust Edward Teller?
Yeah. Field modalities.
Why is everyone trusting academia in such a way?
A particle.
And they know they're so dodgy as well, especially with them lot, or at Los Alamos. They were all into devil worship in a lot of cases, in OTT, Jeff Parsons and all the rest. But even Oppenheimer and Edward Teller, they were all into this deep, weird, Kabbalistic voodoo cult. They were all into NASA.
Massively into it. They're massive.
It does that hand thing when they, when they're pretending they're up in space. They does that hand thing. You've seen it when they go like that.
Yeah.
They're doing a pyramid, and then they sort of take it away. It's that sort of weird voodoo thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they're practicing that. Do a lot of symbology. They're all rubbing that faces. I can't believe anyone's buying that anywhere beyond all that now.
It's a level of evil, isn't it? I mean, then when you connect that up to the way the Phoenicians, the way their royalty worked, their royalty they commit sacrifice. They would commit sacrifice to the earth, to the gods. Do it at summer solstice, winter solstice, etc. But we couldn't. We can't. They can do it. So imagine if they are doing that, the poison that causes to the field of this earth.
Oh man,
feminine, which is feminine as well.
It's just like it's just a shudder through reality. The caring nature. If you've been in realms of transcendental realms, you'll find that there is a beautiful, caring female presence in this place.
That's right. Go on.
It's very loving and it takes care of you. It's not my experience. It's never ever been a masculine experience. Those caring, beautiful female type of thing, be caring mother in this place, and that's the mother nature that they're basically poisoning, drilling into, blowing at, poisoning, and doing really bad disturbance with the spiritual essence of it all. Just really bad. They do it all the time. This practical, this is a repeated practice for these. They have to keep I think it's part of the spell, to be able to sacrifice,
Yeah.
They certainly took it to Mesoamerica, by the time they'd arrived in the 1500s, you've seen the film Apocalypto, I know that's only a representation, but that, their glyphs show that they were, beheading endless.
Sun worship.
Endless people, until, an eclipse happened, and in this case, this eclipse stayed, or the darkness stayed, for literally months on end. I've got books about this record of it. Even that kills heliocentrism, because if we're supposed to be spinning a fiery ball, it's not going to go anywhere and disappear for months on end, is it? But this is spoken about a lot. You get this darkness before resets as well. They did have it in Noah's reset, Chaldeans and Gilgamesh. It goes, completely, and you can't see anything in front of you, okay, before a reset. So there's that, but I think that's the electromagnetic one.
Yeah.
With the watery one, that's just a big quick dunking. The sea comes in, mile high seas, everybody gets washed away, but it's not all the land. People will probably be tipped off by the creator to get on dodge, get on high ground, whatever. No, I can't see this place. You know, I have an argument in my comments all day, really frustrating, because this guy just denying any intelligent design in this place. Like, have you seen a tree? Have you seen a tree? Do you want me to explain to you the complexity of a tree, the mathematical geometry, the pi, the replicating nature of the fractal nature of this tree into our reality out of the ether? Do you want me to explain it to you?
Yeah.
How deep this goes, the levels, and you just deny all of that as an accident. It's just a fluke. So this is nuts in my mind. Of course, it's intelligent design. This place is definitely.
Oh yeah.
Everything has
Clockwork.
Shame we're not though, but we are. That's the thing. You know, when people say, "Well, how come we're so imperfect as humans?" Yeah, but that is being implanted, and that's part of the condition.
It has to have been there. It has to have been
from when we come out. When we come out, you know, this bombardment against our senses. They take our blood. God knows what they're doing with that.
With the blood. It's the plasma.
Exactly. It's all about the plasma. Look who's in charge of the plasma. Right, they got them motorbikes running around the British cities, haven't they? And they got like the Masonic symbol on the side, and it's St. John's Ambulance Brigade.
Oh yeah. There's a caduceus on it. Yeah,
exactly. Caduceus on it. Exactly. Another one. Yeah. another Phoenician god tech. It's just insane. Can you hear me all right through this mic?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, it's a little tiny bit muffled, but you're coming through. I can hear you.
Muffled. I've never used it before.
But it is working, which is most important. But yeah, you know.
We're not that woefully inadequate.
And then the inverting of the symbols. Yeah, there's a massive inversion of every single thing. Every single thing. Even the Inquisition, they changed Monday to Sunday, everything. All sorts.
Oh, what about this? Well, somebody said that it was sweet as well. Monday has the theme of it's like a mourn day. So it's back to the slavery, mourn day. Right? So you're feeling sad about it all. By Tuesday, you choose the Tuesday whether or not to go on with this rest of this week. By Wednesday, you're wedded. Wednesday to the idea of it all. But by Thursday, you're really thirsty because it's been a hell of a week. But by Friday, they get frying. And you know why they're frying. But by Saturday, Saturday worship comes into it. All hail. Yeah. By Sunday as well. So you get it. So
the Inquisition, I was talking about Phoenicians, you know, glorifying Saturn, etc. And the Inquisition, it was only Saturday. It was only Saturn's day. It was the only day that they didn't change, because they changed it by the archangel. So the moon is Archangel Gabriel and Michael and all that. So they swung it around to really Sunday. What they were saying was the day of actual rest, because the moon is rest, it's magnetism, reset, rest, should be on actual Sunday, but because the sun's day, the sun is action. You're not supposed to be resting on action day.
No.
It's action day, not resting day. So they just
back to your life. See how they inverted that as well, the week?
Yeah. Mental.
Nobody wants to do anything what they want to do on a Monday. The worst day.
Nobody wants to do it.
We're back after the weekend. There's nothing really to the weekend. Yeah. Oh my God, here we go again. So again, the other end of the weekend. Hopefully something good will happen by then.
Monday's definitely not get up and go. We know that. We know it is not get up and go, man. It just ain't.
Not when you don't want to go where you're going, no.
Yeah, especially when you don't want to go.
Just switch off and make the most of it. That's what I used to do.
That's it.
You know, grin and smile in adversity. That's what I do.
Yeah, man. What is your thoughts on? I don't want to put your. What is your thoughts on? You know, a lot of people are looking at the plasma apocalypse and saying, well, look, there's a set date.
No, man, I won't do that.
No, me.
No, the way I think about it, I'll tell you exactly. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I make YouTube videos, right? And what I've noticed over the theme of maybe four years since I've been doing it is some YouTubers will lay down a date, okay? And sometimes I've watched that date go past and they've effed it. It's an idea for everyone to come and watch a channel to the end, to the moment, fail.
Yeah.
It's a marketing tool.
It is.
People are obsessed with the end. They are every single generation, and with good reason too, because people have an inherent suspicion of this place, especially when the evidence is all over the ground, like previous occupants, buildings, very anomalous. They make no sense to reality. what's going on. But no, I wouldn't give a date to it. But I would say that this is the time now. Because, you know, with 5G on the way,
you took the words out of my mouth. You took the words out.
This a weapon. You know, they do anything to that with us. Apart from 5G, you know, the battle on our senses, the obese population, where's that going in another 10 years? I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
All of it, the whole thing, the water, the vibration. You know, a lot how everyone's lost and getting angrier and angrier.
Yeah.
Because the country is primed to blow.
Ready.
Primed to go. My city's in hell of a state. I'm not going anywhere at the moment. They're just busy shooting one another and stabbing one another. So just nuts. So I keep away from city centres.
It's getting like that, isn't it? It's, you know, it's getting like that.
Man, it's just primed. You know, they're making it happen. You know, they're creating a dialectic, but they're pushing it more and more. You know.
Yeah.
And with suspicion. You know, I hate what they do. You know, I noticed a YouTube video this morning, and it was a week after Notre Dame. So I guess this video was out then, and saying, "Oh, look, two Muslims laughing." Now I'm sorry, but two Muslims walking away smiling does not designate that they're like sort of ridiculing any of the body's weird faith
division.
Okay, this is just two brothers. So that sort of mentality was pushed by the mainstream media, which everybody reads. This is the mentality of people that work against us. Against that brother, man. It's just so criminal. It's just skin crawling. It's just, and everyone's doing it. Everyone just bites. That's it. It's just sanctum, you know.
Yeah.
God's help them. They don't want a population of critical thinking people. That's the last thing they want.
It's mental. But that in itself, though, it's funny you say that, because it was only earlier I was thinking about just that one thing, the level. We look at it because we've been awake for a long time. We look at it, whatever. We think, yeah, these people, they go with whatever the mainstream tells them. But when you actually deeply look at it and think to yourself, you are surrounded by people that do not know how to and refuse to think for themselves. They will never listen to another human being, because you are on YouTube and you are spoken with your own mouth and eyes on YouTube, which that in itself means that you are not to be listened to. So in some cases, what is coming for some, you asked, listen, you got told. We were told since 2012, the internet itself has never provided so many answers or so much, you know, information and truth. You were warned. They was told. And so even in books like the Bible, etc., it tells them. I did a video not long ago about it, about taking bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. And woe to those who do that. And it's like what we were saying earlier about religion and the Bible. There is a lot of esoteric knowledge in that Bible.
Man,
for an enlightened mind.
I use it daily.
For an enlightened mind.
It's the greatest source of antiquity we got, our greatest historical narrative we got. And some of these middle-aged books that I got of Bible depictions are all set in the Middle Ages era, with this architecture, this society just left over, and it's mind-blowing to think. You know, I think this whole era was not what they say, you know, in the Bronze Age for the Old Testament. I think there's a lot of reality to what is real. But I think it's, you know, just been altered by men for their own goods, you know, corrupt men, just, you know, gangsters. So, yeah, I think there's some essence in all of it, you know, because I know that, like, you know, the spirits or whatever it is, the universe, to create that definitely touches people in this place. There's no doubt about it, because they make difference, don't they? If one man can change everything which happens in this realm, unfortunately, it would seem that everybody seems to be controlled. Who is not controlled in the, you know, in public paradigm? Think about it. The greatest heroes we can think of, and you scrape back, and there's some sort of Freemasonry ties or some sort of corruption in the background. All of them. So you can see, like, there's, you know, the history books don't have people in them. They have royal families and dynasties and battles, and that is it. You won't get to it ever. We're kept out of the reality. We don't exist.
We don't even exist, you know. It's crazy when you look at it. Even you go all the way back to Egypt, you see the same scenario. The same scenario there with Nama and the Scorpion Kings, etc. When they came through, and then it united Upper and Lower Egypt, started a new world order, right, just right there and then. These Scorpion Kings, they were matriarchal. Serqet was their divine mother, and these gods, these kings, made sure that they knew that this divine mother Serqet was who they went. That was who they looked up to. That was what they venerated. Always the bulls and the bees, you know. And so, even at that point, there, you could even say that this new world order started way back 6,000-7,000 years ago. At that, from all that particular point, because
I think this is played out over and over again.
yeah, and there's a guy that Menes, I believe he came from Samaria anyway, from the same deluge, just over to Egypt, and it almost looks as though it's all they lived the whole thing, just going way.
That's our history, isn't it? Our world history from Adam and Eve, isn't it?
Yeah,
and like
before.
When it's exactly stated, how many years ago it's supposed to be stated, you know? So we're not even supposed to be yet all that long. Anyway,
pre-dynastic. It's
so before then, I think there was definitely something else going on. You know, I think this is like the reset start, because some of these, you know, these mountainous scenes you can see that are like great antiquity or weathered down over vast periods of time. You just feel that they're just further back, like fairy castles in Turkey, for example.
Yeah.
You know, these are not natural formations. These are very, very ancient structures, and not from these reset time, but way further back.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can allegorize all of the Bible. Adam and Eve is definitely, in my mind, the Adam, and Eve is the marriage of basically male and female magnetic forces.
Yeah.
You know, sort of proliferating into one another. And the serpent is an analogy for electromagnetism. Okay. Even, you know, we decoded this through a series a couple of weeks ago, books we found that stated, there's one manuscript that basically the serpent you see in all of these alchemical and occultist depictions denotes a wave form, traveling through the sea, rising it up, and ending in the land, a wave form, and coming through the land. So a somatic wave pattern, okay, a vibration that travels through the entire plane. What they say the serpent is was the EM effect, plasma effect. So whenever you see the serpent in the alchemical depictions, if it's wrapped around a column, it would mean that it's an active charge. Okay, if it's on its own, it's EM, just the microwaving of the environment.
Yeah, now you're talking
electrifying.
It is exactly that.
An active charge is when you get it around a pillar. And like you've seen on your depiction there with the two wings, you see the two wings on the bottom of the disc.
There's that one there.
Well, we interpret that as two opposing magnetic fields or two opposing toruses, like. Pretty much that shape's got the shape of our Earth in it. You have the dielectric inertia.
Masculine and feminine. Yeah.
And as you said, the spectrum, even I'd go as far as to say with them.
They're the planets as well. The planet, the rest is Saturn and that.
It's all in the firmament. What we've been frustrating with this new sort of field that we've been talking about rising continents and sinking continents, is these giant Indian stupas, or these stupa plants, were actually projecting or manifesting luminaries for the purposes of, well, either fooling or just for beautification. Okay. The moon is definitely a plasma object. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. It's plasma effect, and it's covered in arcing points. You know, these are craters. Craters do not land like that all at the same time. They come in from different parts of space, surely. From one direction, isn't it?
Yeah.
So these are plasma discharge points because they look exactly like them. And Earth is covered with these stratas, which are rich field lines. They're electrical sort of fault lines, which you can see on a mass scale, and fault lines as well. Also deep caverns like the Grand Canyon, which could also be plasma effects. Okay, so plasma discharge effects is taught by Emmanuel Galatowski, talked about by.
Just show that to people while you're talking. So I got them things on there. So that's a plasma discharge. You could just see that one there.
Yeah, sure. It's a very anomalous material, this plasma. It's hard pretty much to define. Science certainly doesn't know what it is. But they're changing their narratives, I've noticed, because when I was a child, they told me that comets were made of ice. And now they're made of plasma all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Sweet.
Yeah.
I broke my plasma lamp. I dropped it on the floor and didn't withstand that.
It's mental though, isn't it? Because you see the purple skies, right? Because we're coming towards this now.
Yeah.
You see the purple skies. We know that, right? And then you see the purple skies. You see all that, and then the usual. Then you see that, and then you see that, and it says end game. It tells you end game. This is their new film. This is one of them.
They do it on purpose. I've seen a lot of that in the last few weeks.
Deliberate. Oh,
if you're suggesting to our times now, I'm telling you, especially with that series, 100%. So much attention on that series. It's just
mental. You know,
Aquaman. Look at the attention on that. There's so much flat earth.
Massive flat earth. There's urine in there. The guy even talked. They put. No, they've just gone to a different level.
Watched it twice. It was good.
They've gone to a different level now. Now you show the plasma in that. You show the water in that. So they show the two different, resets there like that, and it's just phenomenal. You know,
if you show the flat earth on it.
You know, it's they just show everything. It's just all there.
There's been all the more. Have you ever seen that film, The Gods of Egypt?
Gods of Egypt, seen that one as well.
Yeah, man, when he's pulling the sun and the moon with his chariot.
Yeah, Gods of
Egypt. I know, they keep doing it. I've seen it all the time. I only watch these films to decode them.
Same here. That's why I watch it.
Right in there now, though, especially with the Avengers. And,
massive now.
What's another massive film I've just looked at? Just recently.
There's so many. There's another
Shazam and all of them. These sorts of
Shazam, yeah, the superhero character. That one is always.
He's got a plasma discharge event on his shirt, and he's not the only one as well. We've got Thor's hammer, and they all sorts of. So everything seems to be acquainted to ancient technology.
Well, it does. And then you go back to Superman. This symbol here he's got on his chest is a yo.
I know.
On the 0 point, the kryptonite, the green.
The 0 point. It's crazy for people who know this coding and they understand it. It's full of esoteric coding. All the Batman is just another. All of them.
Always a heart emblem. Always. Mega.
I know, it's amazing what they do. These are clever people that encode all of this, because some of it's really deep as well. So they know that people are definitely going to critically look at these things for that. So they do it on purpose. These people attack the stock for the social conditioning, social engineering people, and the people in Hollywood, which in case of South Park, that program just on its own. All right, the people who work and create that, people from MIT. And Ivy League graduates for a cartoon, so they can get in people's heads, create, hate programs, the Jew agenda, and all of these different agendas that they push on top. Like it's all alright. It's just weird.
Magic, magnetism. Merlin makes you dance with his magic wand. It's all magnetism, M's and W's, and
they all got happy hats on as well.
It's all there. It's
Merlin's Welsh, man. I love Merlin. Everything here is Arthur where I live. We got everywhere's named Penn. There's Penn Doylan, Penn Trebayne, Penn,
Penn,
P-E-N, which is Arthur's name, which is Earth and Pendragon. So anywhere they say with Penn in the title is somewhere he stayed or passed through. And this place where I live is littered with Arthurian legends. I got a place just local, Arthur's Seat, where he was supposed to have sat and rested, and all sorts of fables. Merlin was supposed to be his mother, supposed to be an Atlantean survivor. And she handed down her only son, which was him, Merlin, her sacred knowledge, his Atlantean knowledge, if you like. And he was one of the only people on the plane. So he's Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. It's the same story. This Lord of the Rings is another one. The story of it all. It really is. Where are we? Middle Earth. Earth. They keep telling us we're in Middle Earth. So what's above us? What's below us then?
What's the ring?
The ring's a biggie, isn't it? It's always about the ring. Well, I tell you what I think it is. I think it's the Taurus that goes around the apple of this place.
Yeah, I would suggest that is definitely going to be.
Maybe. It seems
overarching, because that is the magnetic field.
And it's always, you know, even the deep religious meanings, you know, of Alpha and Omega, you know, well, what they will say is the Greek alphabet, you know, A, Z, or the first
Masculine and
like,
feminine.
last letters.
Masculine
But
and
it's not. It's analogous exactly for, you know, for the place where we live. The double torus,
the boy and girl.
all of it is.
Boy and girl, red and blue, hyperboloid, you know.
Yeah, I was going to look into purple more and do a bit of work on it actually.
Hyperboloid, purple, hyperboloid. It's
I know exactly.
all, everything's just all.
So it all ties in.
All there.
I know. Especially with the fornification or the Phoenicification of this place, you can see it clear because their names are everywhere. You know,
Everywhere.
Indianapolis, anything with Annapolis on the end.
Yeah.
Okay. And they put either a Fornia in the end as well, which is like California, which is them as well. You can't believe how much this is integrated, you know, into our language. I can't even believe myself. Dave sending me stuff. Said, "Did you know this?" No, I never knew.
I mean, right, it's bad. Phoenician, P for penis. P is like, so phallic worship, a phallic. You're going to light that phallic for 12 days. You're talking about a pen. So a pen, penis, use a penis to create pregnancy. Again, it's all P's. It's all.
This is part of the, you know, this Osiris worship or this Osiris or the Isis religion is tied straight into the Phoenicians. You know, these are the instigators of this weird mindset. You know, this Isis religion and this weird queen and who, you know, has sex with a brother and then chops his knob off and then makes it gold again, reanimates him. That's, you know, a golden what? So this is an entire religion that Hollywood and, you know, mainstream America is all practicing, which is Phoenician based because they're the instigators of this Babylonian mindset.
Of this nasty mindset.
You can always trace it back to this Babylonian family. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, I know that.
Try the band.
Every time. Yeah, try the band. Moloch worshippers, phallic worshippers.
Yeah, well, they do it every Bionian Grove, don't they? They do supposed to do a sacrifice to their god Moloch.
Yeah. Well, that's how they're doing it. Right to Moloch. Right now as well. And then now, in a few days' time, they're going to have a maypole. I'll be doing a post about because I always post about these events they have. They'll have a maypole and they will get children to dance around the phallic of the maypole.
And you know what the maypole is?
Which is magnetism and it's light and plasma again.
Oh, you know it.
And then the colours
as well. You can
look at the colours.
Follow it in.
And that same 7, that 4 and 3 we were looking at is the electromagnetic spectrum 7. You're going to get your kids to dance around a phallic to celebrate the end of their Beltane, their sacrifice.
While creating a vortex for their religion instead of for natural purposes. Isn't it weird?
It's mental.
So they invert everything. See, the circle dancing is inherent. There's nothing wrong with it. Everybody, all of humanity does it. Is create a circle, dance around, and create a natural vortices, natural vortex. Yeah. Because we're Taurus systems ourselves, as you know.
Yeah. It happens.
You know, we interlink our extent.
That's how it works. It's magic. It's a magical realm, and when you're right,
it makes like a magical experience.
It does.
Body involved. Yeah. And everyone knows it's deep and spiritual when they're doing it, and this is part of who we are. This circle pattern, and it reflects the place where we live.
Exactly.
The same. Yeah, exactly. It's all encoded. The Zyra, you know, the Greek, the P and the X code, which is exactly that. The P or the Zyro of Greek and the P denotes a circle. And what do they show below the circle is the cross, which is basically the double torus. And you're the inertia plane, of Montmeron, Southern Montmeron. It's all there.
All across, right in the middle, always there, all the time. Because it's such a beautiful story. And it's so liberating, so our divinity is tied up in such a lost story that goes so deep that we're always constantly unraveling it. How deep that
all this right for me has been like that.
It's within us. It's within us.
Because like I've had so much happen in this like short 4 years. You know, I've had a lot of tragedy. You know, I've had like, you know, I've been a mess. It's been a mess. I've sort of like, you know, I've gone through downs, roundabouts. I've been through it all. In all small periods of my life. All just to try and tell the truth, find out the truth. It's weird.
Yeah, it's mental. It's crazy.
They're not happy with it.
Martin, we're going to leave it on that note. We're going to leave it on that note.
All right, man. Yeah, I'll touch you. Well,
There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot for us to talk about. We want to have you back on.
Though, isn't there? But I like this because it's, it's where I want to be, really.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, that's sweet.
A lot of people know where to find you already. What have you got coming up? Because I know you do a big live every week, don't you?
So much to look forward to. Yeah, you find me on, obviously, Martin Ika, Flat Earth British, YouTube, or www.flatearthbritishinfo.com. I've got a new website up and running, and I've just basically, we've got a photo done with the best photos you could ever imagine from antiquity. All the best of Flat Earth British think tank, and I've put another 2,000 images on there last night. There's already 15,000. So what we're trying to get is like one of the biggest resources in the world, free for everyone to just jump into and enjoy. That's our intent. So yeah, so that's on our website. Just go down, you'll scroll, you see a photo bank, and you're quite welcome to join. And you can add to this photo bank, okay? All historical stuff in the past. You know, I don't know what he is. All fine. So
brilliant.
You know, that's there as well. So yeah. And yeah, loads on the horizon, Flat Earth conventions, 2 of them coming. I've got the one in Kidderminster in September, end of September 13th through to the 15th. That's just outside Birmingham. There's going to be quite some people going there. Apparently, Mark Sargent's going, the likes of him.
Right, yeah.
And loads of other people. It's going to be quite amazing. Probably Dave Murphy, probably one along. So that'll be a big Flat Earth week for the UK for this year, and then a couple of weeks later, there's the International Flat Earthers Convention, first big one in Europe. Anyway, I believe it was one maybe 4 years ago, if I remember rightly, or 3 years ago. Anyway, in Amsterdam, and that's big. So that's Jeranism's going, Ireland Duty. He went to the last, that was 8th. So it's all like, you know, all the people in the Flat Earth. It's going to be quite a biblical event. And on my channel as well, I've got like lots to look forward to. But the rest of this big sort of human bombshell on the wall. The greatest secret never told, which is not complete yet.
Yeah.
That's just building up to just release tracking tech on everyone, and there's aspects of Jesus slaying it, which is going to be hard. And everything else is going on. So plenty happening.
Yeah. Okay, good. Sounds exciting. I might have to come and join you on some of that. Sounds really good. Sounds good.
Come to Birmingham and check it out, mate. Because we were there last year. It was kicking. You know, there was probably 300 Flat Earthers. You had the world media coming in, and those.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That was the first time seeing.
Yeah, the
just engaging us out there and seeing what these are all about. You know, are they a bunch of nutters or something like that? But it turns out quite the reverse of what they thought. So this one should be really interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. I'm doing comedy in Amsterdam, by the way. I'm on a Friday, I think Saturday night now, but we've got a famous DJ there, DJ Deadly. So it's a pumpkin party. So it'd be better like have some decent reggae going. I'll take my ecomossi.
Sounds like a thing.
On a thing. I've been listening to that. Have you watched? I haven't stopped playing it last night. My head is just buzzing with it. I like a bit of Dub FX, right? They are quite good.
Yeah.
But have you seen them when they got like Ecomos back out, and he's absolutely biblical, as good as he ever was back then? Have you seen it?
I've got to see it. You know, somebody was talking to me about Dub FX earlier. He was talking about him coming on this show. Actually,
the glow beds. He does my head in. He keeps talking about planetary things.
Are they? Oh, right. I know.
They do. But he's using like a stud machine, and he's doing all like the sirens, and he's back like when it was good. So it's really nice. You should check it out. So
I'll check him out.
Right. The guy, you can see that he got his shit together. He mustn't have gone off drugs or nothing. He must have burnt enough off his money, gone up in the sticks or something. He's still got his shit together because he's like 60 now. He looks really young. You push your head off watching it. I watched it about 6 times on his phone last night. I don't mind double FX sometimes because they glow better, it pisses me off. You know what I mean? But I'll suffer it.
Double FX are going to go. I might have to go and check a bit of that out now. You know, Double FX, because only someone was talking to me, mentioning that name to me only earlier. Synchronizations, all synchronicities coming to the surface.
I've been listening to them for a while, but like I said, they're really woken. they know about the dialectic, what the governments are up to, the health, everything, but they will not acknowledge flatness. It's weird.
Never.
Weird.
Never acknowledge that. No.
They're scared because they're scared of ridicule, because most people would ridicule. That's what it all is.
Divinity. I think they're frightened of us. They're scared of us rediscovering what it is we are and where we are and who we are. And because of that,
Plenty of them know. Bands like Pink Floyd or The Who, these guys know. They talk about it in their songs constantly.
blinded by the light, you know.
Blinded by, oh yeah, I know. Or Deep Purple as well. Their new album is
Purple Rain
as well. It's just they don't know. It's just not allowed to say, because at the end of it, you just got to drop it in statisticians the outside of the lyrics.
Endless.
They get given the lyrics.
Yeah.
Don't think Kurt Cobain wrote his own lyrics. That guy couldn't tie his shoelaces. And I come up with stuff like that.
Martin, it's been fantastic having you on. Like I say, we want to be doing a part 2.
Yeah, could catch up with me again. I'm about, bro. I'm about.
Hell of a lot more. So,
yeah, I mean, he's getting back. It's just last couple of weeks been mental. I had a few shit last week as well. So it's all sorted out now. So I get back to balancing.
Brilliant. We'll be back at you for part 2, mate. We won't hang about with these shows. We like to keep them rolling. So I'm Fabian, the Upgrade Man. This is the Alkalize to Realize talk show. You can find us at Activation the Philosopher's Stone Age During Therapy group. Please join that group, like it. Also subscribe to Alkalize to Realize talk show on YouTube. Subscribe to that. Obviously, Flat Earth British, boom, get on with that if you're not already doing that already. And we will catch you on the next one. Peace, brother Martin.
I'll wait in.
See you soon.